Welcome to Phillies Fan Central, where passion meets the diamond and every fan's voice counts.
Dave Dombrowski isn't messing around, and it looks like the Phillies front office decided to blow up the market this January morning. The intel hitting the wire has the back channels buzzing, putting our franchise dead center in one of the most aggressive battles of the offseason, because the Philadelphia Phillies have officially entered the race to sign infielder Bo Bichette. We aren't talking about superficial interest or those routine check-ins we see every year. According to John Heyman of the New York Post, the Phillies are going toe-to-toe with heavyweights like the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Yankees, and even his former squad, the Toronto Blue Jays, alongside the Cubs and Red Sox. It is a bidding war, and we are right in the trenches. What makes this incredibly interesting is where Bichette is at in his career. The guy is 27 years old and just came off an absurd bounce-back season in 2025. After a rough year in 24, he silenced the critics by hitting .311 with a .357 on-base percentage and a .483 slugging percentage. That included 18 home runs and 94 RBIs across 139 games. The stat that grabs me the most here is his WRC+, which closed at 134. That means he was 34% better than the league average at creating runs, and in 4 of the last 5 seasons, he posted at least 175 hits and a 3.8 EFWAR. That is elite. That is the kind of bat that changes the complexion of a lineup. But before we dissect how he actually fits into this roster, I need you to pause for a second. If you want these exclusive Phillies updates before anyone else, with analysis that doesn't pull punches, subscribe to Phillies Fan Central right now and hit that notification bell. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, which is the defensive alignment. We already have Trea Turner locked in at shortstop, and he isn't going anywhere. Turner, who is now 32, had a solid season, hitting .304 with 15 homers and 36 stolen bases. Plus, he cleaned up his defense significantly with 2 defensive runs saved last season. So, if Bichette comes to South Philly, he isn't coming to play shortstop. The internal chatter is that he would have to shift to second or third base. The problem is the experience factor. Bichette has barely played second base in his career, logging just 262 innings in the minors and 5 games during the World Series in 2025. Bringing in a player of that caliber to play out of position is a calculated risk the front office seems willing to take to add more offensive firepower, especially since the DH spot is clogged up with Kyle Schwarber and his $150 million contract. The engineering to make this work on the field will require creativity and, honestly, some serious conversations in the clubhouse so nobody gets bent out of shape. It is the kind of bold move that defines whether we are chasing a ring or just making a cameo in October. This move creates a domino effect that could mean the end of the road for some fan favorites here in Philadelphia. If Bichette arrives to play second base, or if he forces a musical chairs situation, the name squarely on the chopping block is Alec Bohm. The most likely scenario being discussed behind the scenes involves moving Bryson Stott, our current second baseman, over to third base. Stott is an elite defender and had an honest year in 2025 with a 3.1 FWAR. Despite a bat that was just average, that would leave Alec Bohm without a spot. Bohm hit .287 last season, but his defense regressed, dropping from 4 outs above average in 24 to negative 2 outs above average in 25. Plus, he is entering the final year of team control, and his arbitration projection is sitting at $10,300,000. For a team that has already blown past the luxury tax threshold, trading Bohm has become a real financial and roster possibility to accommodate Bichette. Speaking of cash, get your wallets ready because Bichette won't come cheap. Market projections are pointing to a deal in the neighborhood of 8 years and $208 million, or somewhere around 7 years and $189 million. Writing that check would push the Phillies' payroll way above the $300 million mark, which is dangerous territory for luxury tax penalties, considering we already brought in Adolis Garcia and bolstered the bullpen with Brad Keller and Zach Pop. Another technical detail we can't ignore is that Bichette rejected the qualifying offer. This means if we sign him, we forfeit our second and fifth highest draft picks plus $500,000 in international signing bonus money. It is a steep price to pay, not just in dollars, but in future capital. On the flip side, the Toronto Blue Jays just dropped $60 million on Japanese infield star Kazuma Okamoto, which might grease the wheels for Bichette's exit since they are filling the gaps. We, the fighting Phils faithful, know John Middleton wants that trophy back in the city and isn't afraid to spend stupid money, but this would be a massive all-in bet. Bichette's arrival would turn our offense into a nightmare for opposing pitchers, adding contact and power, but the infield defense would become a question mark. My take is that the risk is worth it if the goal is to win right now, ignoring the long-term financial headaches. But what do you think? Is it worth sacrificing Bohm and draft picks to bring in Bo Bichette and build a super team, or is the defensive and financial risk too high? I want to see your opinions in the comments. Let's debate this with the seriousness this team deserves. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this deep dive, and share it with that buddy who suffers through every inning with us. Ring the bell. Red October energy. Go Phils!